Okay, Scale Builder 1.3. In previous videos, we've reviewed factoring out a GCF on number 1 and 6. We've also reviewed how to factor trinomials on number 2 and 4. There's one more type of factoring, special type of factoring that you see here, which is on number 3 and number 5. So let's look at number 3. Notice that on number 3, you don't have the middle term. So if you look at ax squared plus bx plus c, the bx is missing. So we have the ax squared and the c. You have to notice here that these are both perfect squares. So we call this a difference of two perfect squares. And in order to factor that, we need to look at what is the square root of each of these terms. So the square root of x squared is x. The square root of 64 is 8. So the format when you factor this will always be a set of conjugates. Conjugate meaning one will be a positive, one will be a negative. These terms will be the same. The square root of x squared is x. The square root of 64 is 8. And you'll notice what happens when you have conjugates is if you were to multiply this back out, x squared minus 8x plus 8x minus 64, the middle two terms end up canceling out, which gives you back the original expression. So this is the factorization. Let's try one more of the difference of squares. So in number 5, we again have an expression, a quadratic, that's missing the middle term. And we can also note here that we have a perfect square and another perfect square. Notice in the answer format that there's also an additional spot right here. So when you're looking at a factoring problem, you should always check to see if there's anything that is a common factor before you continue. So here we have a common factor of 9. So I'm going to first take out a 9. That leaves me with a 9x squared minus 1. Now we can look at this part. This is a perfect square, this is a perfect square. So I'm going to put the 9 out here. This can be factored similar to how we factored this one. The square root of 9x squared is 3x. And we're again going to have conjugates. One will be a plus, one will be a minus. The other term is a 1, square root of 1 is 1. So we have 3x plus 1 and 3x minus 1. So this entire expression is the factored form.